Thank you, Angie, for getting us live on the air tonight. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Engel, roll call.
Terry Engel here, Amy Erke.
Here.
Rich Mueller.
Here.
Pat Tyre.
Here.
Aaron Phillips is absent. Lauren Shainrod.
Here.
Rick Schultz is absent.
Next item on the agenda is approve the agenda. Mr. Myhock, do you have any additions?
Nope, the agenda is complete.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Erke, seconded by Ms. Tyre to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. We have the consent agenda next. Mr. Myhock.
Public comments.
Or- Okay.
Am I right? Public comments?
Yep, after the roll call, yep.
Okay, we have public comment. Is there any comments this evening?
No one has registered or signed up.
Okay. And then we have the superintendent's report.
Yeah, and I will start with Mr. Berg, who has a elementary concert to attend.
Yeah, get to go see Mr. Kopetsky.
Go to the admin report?
Yep. Okay, so like tonight with the elementary, we had our winter concert last Monday. Very well attended, put on. The kids did a great job. We've got our winter activities that are still going on. If you happen to walk around the building, you see a lot of winter decorations. I think the kids really got into it. Actually, the kids did a lot of the decorating for the teachers, so it's kind of neat. We won't talk about stuff that we shouldn't, so just go around and enjoy them while they're still up, okay? We had,
Did they have a contest? Was there a winner?
yes, and I think,
Family and Consumer Sciences.
yes, Callie Chartrand, facts.
Okay.
Won it from within the teachers and the staff voted, and she won that. I believe they put something on Facebook too, but I'm not a Facebook connoisseur, so I have no idea.
It was all over, yes.
Okay, there you
It
go.
looked very nice, and there was lots to look at, so
Yep.
very cool.
Yeah, it's busy.
That's okay, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
I didn't decorate my door, but somebody decided to put the Grinch on it, and I'm okay with that. At least it wasn't screws. I know in Mr. Kopetsky's report, he talked about the food drive they did, and we did one here as well. We did not do nearly as well as the elementary, but nonetheless, we did donate a fair amount of food for the food shelves in our district. What we've got coming up before our next meeting is continuation of winter activities, our winter break, which everyone will probably be ready for. The end of the second quarter, the first semester, January 17th. So we're closing down. I think we'll have 3 weeks, not quite 3 weeks when we come back from break to finish up. And then we've got staff development on the 21st. Questions?
And luckily enough, I am giving a tour after the meeting for anyone interested. That was supposed to be to the band room if anyone wanted to see the progress in there, but we can tour the decorations as well.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Berg. Yep.
Enjoy the concert. It's really good.
I'm excited. I'll be watching all the dads at the concert with their phones on to see how the bikes are doing. Thanks.
Mr. Kopetsky is obviously at the building, elementary building as well, and he shared his notes along with Macy with Community Ed attending the conference or the concert, and she attached and included her notes for you to look over. We are fortunate to have Jason with us, and he can give his update on the teaching and learning position.
Hi, everybody. Just really quick, I checked the status of OLA. We're supposed to be on to module 6 out of 9 before the beginning of February. We've already got 3 teachers that are practically done, so they're just cruising along. MCAs and the WIA access testing will start the first week of March, so I've been doing a lot of trainings and signups for getting the materials we need for those. We just got the Minnesota student survey. I mentioned it last meeting. We got, on Thursday or Friday, we got the actual items, and so there will be a copy in both the elementary school and the secondary school office that is available for people to look at. It very specifically in the rules that it cannot leave the office, and that anyone that wants to look at them can look at those questions. There's 3 different levels. For the 5th grade, it's the level 1 testing. It's a much shorter. I found out today that they basically think that it'll take about 25 to 35 minutes for each of the grade levels that are doing it, because this year is the first year that they're using a different technology that is kind of only asking them the questions. If they say yes to this, they skip all the rest of the questions and jumps to, or if they say no, it jumps to the next one. It doesn't make them go through. If yes, well, da-da-da. If yes, da-da-da-da. They just automatically skip all of them. So it's more of a dynamic student survey. We don't have a date set for that. We can give it any time between January and April. So I just need to discuss with the rest of the admin team and some of the teachers to decide what would be the best time for that. And then we have that staff development day on the 21st. That morning will be in person here at New Richland. And then the afternoon will be time for the OLA training and flex learning for the teachers that are not doing OLA training, but doing some literacy training that's created on the website, so that we're all kind of having that. How do we bring reading or literacy to all our classrooms? Any questions?
You'll have to excuse my dad humor or attempt of humor, but either I've been wrong for a year and a half, and I thought your last name was Tupence, but with the R, was it Rupence?
Where did I?
On your sweatshirt. or
Oh
sweater.
no, it's for
Were you part of a
Pokemon.
series?
It's
or-
Team Rocket.
Team Rocket.
I kind of was hoping that there was an N and an H and a G, EG.
I know,
Somebody
wouldn't that
got
be
Part of
me
the
there.
series.
I kind of was thinking
Next
it was
year,
ugly
next
sweater day or
Christmas we'll do
something.
My son picked it.
You had us all curious. Thanks for answering.
All right, thank you, everyone. A couple things that I have to go through here. First and foremost, I'd like to take the time just to recognize Rich Mueller for his recontinuance and now his reconclusion of service to the district. And as a token of our appreciation, we'd like to present Rich and Penny with lifetime NRHEG activity passes. As a thank you. Rich is fortunate enough that he has several years to use these passes before he qualifies for the senior citizen free pass. But so it's a nice bonus for him and a very small way to say thank you for jumping in and being on board, the board again, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. Sue, can you hit the final site? So, Sue and Angie have been working on our new website. Our current provider is bought out by Final Site, and our July 1st launch date has come and gone, and for reasons of out of our control, I guess, that there's been some stuff happening with Final Site, and we're projecting maybe a sometime January launch. January 6th?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll communicate that and show that and advertise that to to parents, but here's a little teaser of what the app and the communication possibilities that are available with our new Final Site website.
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
Automatic translations, what?
You guys watch it at home. Report to each other what you learned.
Okay, last question. Could it be the TV itself? Is there a remote for the TV?
ESPN. It's not on yet.
That's just,
No.
what starts at 7?
I think it starts at 7:20.
We're so close.
Oh, it starts at 7.
All right, well, I guess we can kind of read, I don't remember if there was talking or if it was just music as it was introducing it, but why don't you start from the beginning and we'll kind of give our attention to the words on there, but it's obviously just kind of explaining or walking through some of the capabilities that come along with the app and how you can set it and set up the app as most convenient for you. So if you want the activity schedule to be your main page, if you want the website to be your main page, or the lunch menu, or maybe the grading, those options are available and should serve as a very useful tool for our parents and community members.
Can you pay for your lunch through the app like you can GMC?
No, that will still go through JMC, but maybe you can access a click to get there quicker. I
So
don't
this
know.
will be
No.
separate from,
It's a smaller version of what the website would look like, or different pages on the website would look like, but you would set it up again, so, again, if you want, the activities calendar to be your main page when you click on the app, that's what, you can set it up to look.
Customizing your own
So instead of
dashboard.
searching for the website, you
Mhm.
have an app for your school website?
Correct.
Is what, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So still separate from GMC's app, where you can still look at all the
Yes,
grades and the
right,
assignments and lunch
yes.
and all that?
Yep. So, kind of a fizzled teaser, but at least you know it's coming, and hopefully January as they discussed. Next on my list is I just wanted to put a plug in for the NRHEG conference that I attended in November. This is open to all school leaders, so the sessions, the opening session and closing session are good. You know, they spend a lot of money to bring people in and share a very strong message, but I thought that the breakout sessions of the conference in November were very strong. I was hoping to go to one on the 4-day school week, but that was at the same time as the role of a principal in rural Minnesota, so I attended the other one, and it's supposed to have MDE presenter is supposed to send me that information. Not that we're looking into it or anything, but just good information to be aware of and kind of learn more about. So, again, just put that on your radar, that opportunity is there every year, and it's a good conference to attend if you're interested. I honestly will take a group, if anyone wants to stick around after the meeting, we can go down to the band room and check that out, that it is coming along and making some progress, and that's been a big topic through the summer and the fall, so if anyone is interested in taking a look at that, we can do that. After the consent agenda, I'll introduce Pam Krill. Pam is our workforce coordinator through South Central Service Co-op, and she'll provide an update on all the exciting things that are happening in our district and our CTE courses. And I just wanted to make note of, or share this publicly. In the paper this week, there'll be my little article will be regarding the portrait of the graduate, that I've sent you some information on that project that we're putting together, and sometime late winter, early spring, again, we'll be looking at forming a committee. That committee is probably going to be 12, 15 people plus, and we'll look at some board members joining that too as we work together as a school district, our staff members and board members and community members and parents to develop our, similar to like a vision and mission statement, but a portrait of a graduate, what we want our students to have with them and learn as they leave the district and enter the workforce or college or whatever their path, wherever their path may take them. So again, you have some information in your newsletters that I shared with you, but keep that on your radar, and if anyone asks questions, again, there'll be something in the newspaper this week, and it will invite people to contact me if they're interested in being a parent or a community rep on that committee. So, with that, if there's any questions, if not, that concludes the administrative report.
Thank you, Mr. Maha. Any board member comments?
I just wanted to say, I mean, the concert's going on right now, but I was privileged to be able to watch the rehearsal, and it was just wonderful. Those little kids did such a wonderful job, and our new music teacher she's doing a wonderful, it was just wonderful. They all knew their songs, she handled the sound system well, all those kids were under control. She turned around, had her hand up like this, and they all got quiet just like that. It's like, holy smokes, she's got it. She's got it. So it was nice to see. I sent her a lengthy note. I hope she stays for a while.
Good. It's good to hear.
So, and then I don't know if I can say this here, but I'm going to. I noticed today that there was a shooting in Madison, and I wondered, and it made me think about, do we still practice that safety here? Do we have those drills?
Between fire drills and then the lockdown or safety drills and tornado drill in the spring.
And do we still do the old hunker down in a corner thing?
Nope. It's quite a bit different that way too. It's flexible. It's more again, using the school shootings that have taken place in the past, and trying to learn from those experiences on the better ways to remain safe. And a good example that they're always talking about, if something's taking place, let's say in this office, kind of the central location, and we have some communication that's going out that we're in a lockdown or a secure environment, the staff should be ready and knowledgeable, and the students should go through these drills that says, get out while you can. If something's happening over here, you should have the opportunity to exit the building in different parts of the building, not shut the door, lock it, and wait for someone to come into that room or that environment and have everyone sitting there available.
It's so sad.
The philosophy has changed to where it used to be like code names would go over the loudspeaker. Now the philosophy is that you give location. If you know the shooter, you give the name of the shooter, or at least what they're wearing, and things like all of that information goes out over the speaker. Like that is, and so that those decisions can be made by the teachers if they know that they're all the way over there. Then it's easier for them to leave.
And part of that too is let that person know, we know, and we practice these things, and we're gonna get as many people to safety, and yeah, the code name, the eagle has landed. Well, again, what does that mean now? Is it cold blue, cold red? What's the difference? And no, just put it out there, just say it, and don't make it confusing. So, yes, those are all taking place
Okay.
and required to take place.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for all their support from what I've done over the years.
Very good.
I guess I would like to echo Mr. Myhawk's comments to you, Rich. I've only had the opportunity and pleasure to work with you a little bit the last 4 years, and I've learned to appreciate your steady and consistent voice for the students here at NRHEG. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is information and communications. Our next organizational meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025 at the Secondary School Media Center at 5:30. Also, the MSBA Leadership Conference is January 16th and 17th, 2025. And the next regular scheduled meeting is for Tuesday, January 21st at the Ellendale School Media Center at 6:30.
That's correct. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is consent agenda. Mr. Myhawk, please.
I'll go through our regular disclaimer here. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background materials on each item, or we have discussed these at previous meetings. These will be acted upon with one vote without discussion, and if a board member wants to discuss any of the items, we can pull it from the consent agenda and we can vote on it separately. We do not have any donations to recognize this month, and so I would ask for your approval of the consent agenda as it's presented.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Mueller moved to approve the consent agenda. Ms. Erke seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Carried. Next on the agenda is reports.
As promised, after the consent agenda, I'd introduce Mrs. Pam Krill, our workforce coordinator. The floor is yours, Pam.
First, thank you, and I don't have 900 slides, just so everybody knows. I know it's football night, even though I don't watch it. But anyway, I am Pam Krill. I am your guys' workforce coordinator. I've had the pleasure, I think, of working with some of you. Thank you, Mr. Myhawk, for letting me come. It's nice to see you, Kelly. But what I wanted to bring up, one of the big things going on, trying to do some things a little bit different here this year. I think you guys know my role is really truly to expose students to career opportunities, not necessarily taking them to career fairs, taking them to college fairs, but what is here in your guys' community. This summer I found some very interesting things by visiting with some of your guys' local businesses that they used to go out and visit a lot of these places, so I'm trying to really institute that back again this year. But something fun that we are going to be doing, we actually started today. The planning phase of it started with Kelly's new person here with Kelly down in the facts department, is we're going to do a Panther Pork Challenge is what we're calling it. So trying to get some of our local business owners to be active and take a vested interest in what the kids are doing in the community. Maybe showcase some of the opportunities that the kids have, whether it's looking for a summer job or maybe even a career if they decide to step out of school when they graduate and go right into the workforce. We've partnered with Neighbors Meat, so with Dan and Amber, and then we've also partnered with Mitch over at the grocery store. Dan and Amber, while we're calling it the Pork Challenge, are going to donate the actual meat and the protein for the cooking challenge. And then Mitch is going to do a $100 donation on the groceries for the kids to go to the grocery store and grocery shop and bring groceries back. So today was their planning phase. They were told what they were going to get today, what they were going to have to cook, and then they had to start planning and budgeting for that $100. The meat portion we really truly don't need to worry about, but it's the produce or anything additional on the side that the kids have to think about. So partnering with each other, there's going to be 4 groups. My understanding is there's about 14 kids down there, so there's going to be 4 groups. 3 with 3 and then 1 with 4, and they'll have to cook and plan together and do all of that. Tomorrow they're going to actually be grocery shopping, so they will go over to Neighbors Meats, they'll pick up their meat, and then they will go over to the grocery store and pick up their groceries. We've asked again them to partner together. If sorry, Lauren, I'm going to use you because I know you. If I'm cooking with carrots and you're cooking with carrots, we're going to share the carrots, just to kind of keep the costs down. So again, getting the students to understand the budgeting portion of it, that, you know, you can't just have free realm of groceries. Things aren't cheap these days. And then bringing it back to school and doing it. Then tomorrow they'll continue to prep during that class period. And then on Wednesday they'll cook. And then we've asked for a few people to come in and do judging on their food after they cook that hour. And another big portion of it is really truly showcasing what the kids can do here to their classmates. And maybe it spikes interest with some of the other kids. But again, then we're keeping it here in the community. They still do some fabulous things. They'll go to Crave, which they go out to the college and they cook against some of their high school peers in other schools. And then they go to Stars of the Future. I know Kelly's familiar with quite a bit of that. But again, just to try and entice a little bit of activity in the community, but then also build that partnership with some of our local business owners. And they know what their kids are doing here in this school. So that's one that's really super exciting. I've already done some other events here this past year already. We've had the Big Ideas trailer that's come in. Again, that just brings in a bunch of the trades career fields and lets the students do, I think we put 62 students through it that day. It was cold outside, but it was really interesting and the kids had a really great time, so I appreciated that. The kids have gone on campus tours. We actually did Construct Tomorrow, and prior to them going up to the Expo Center, Mr. Root did take the students over to South Central College and do another industrial trades tour up there prior to doing that. Last week we just did mock interviews. We had 37 students that went through mock interviews. We had a total of 28 people that came down and helped do interviews during various hours of the day. Sounds like everything went really great so far. I haven't gotten all the feedback, but I will provide it. Mr. Myhawk does get my bi-weekly or monthly updates in reference to everything that we're doing. This year we are going to be taking the kids to the Mayo School of Health Science. So we've got about 22 of the students, I believe, that are most your high-step health courses that are going to go to the Mayo School of Health Sciences and be able to spend part of a day over there. They're going to be doing that February 11th here. We're actually taking United South Central on February 10th as well to the event. I'll be bringing the mobile health lab back again this spring. And really trying to kind of incorporate that with some other things prior as career fair. I did not get to do a career fair here last year, still getting my feet wet. But really think it's important because you guys do have a lot. And I thank whomever puts together your student calendar, your school calendar, because that was another really great resource for me to hit business owners that I haven't talked to this summer. But I'm here to service the school district and the students, you know, and if there's things that you guys want to see or things that you think are important, I am definitely open for constructive feedback on things that, you know, you would like to see me do here at the school. I pretty much have some free reign. I say I'm utilizing my other job over in Ellendale to kind of, you know, I work under a Perkins grant, but to try and pull the community aspect from a different perspective, because I am over there, so I'm trying to play both roles. Being here in the school district, where I'm kind of limited to your CTE classes, but now that I'm working for the city of Allendale as well, to try and bring it from that other perspective of, here's another opportunity, even though it's not CTE, what can I bring back to this school? This new year, you guys will see the Future Ready CTE grants. So again, you guys are all part of the school board. If there's something that the school, especially obviously the CTE classes, are looking for, maybe something you guys as board members see that we need to do. I am working with Mr. Root right now on getting some new saws, some band saws, and some standing tables for his classroom. And then something that I think just really fun, and I think I brought it out to a couple of the teachers, and then Mr. Soren brought one to me this summer, of having a signing day. I think last year it looked like 22 of your guys' students went directly into a workforce. Where'd they go? What did they do? You know, I know we do signing days for kids that are going into college for sports, but how about doing a signing day for the students that are going into the workforce, and maybe being able to showcase that even though they're not going to a 2 or 4 year or a trade school, they are becoming, you know, an active member of the community and get them recognized. And then the last thing with the career fair, looking at doing a reverse career fair. I know it sounds really odd, but Mr. Soren brought it to my attention that he learned about it on one of his webinars this summer. I think him and I were on the same webinar. But a reverse career fair is you let the students set up a career fair booth. And so they're setting up a booth on something that they're actually interested in, and then you bring in some of the industry partners to go ahead and walk through their booth and give them some constructive feedback on maybe things they could do differently, or because they're the industry partner of, I'm glad that you're interested in this. I may potentially either A, have an apprenticeship for you, or I might have an internship for you. And so to be able to help make some of those other connections. But again, I say thank you because I still am having fun. I tell all of the students that want to work for money that it's not all about work and it's not all about money. It's about finding the fun in your job and the joy that you have, because then you won't work a day in your life. So I thank you, and I thank you, Mr. Myhawk, for giving me time tonight. I don't watch the football game, but unless you don't have any questions, I am going to dart out because I'm about an hour from home. So, do you have any questions for me?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Next on the agenda, recommended actions. Mr. Myhawk, please.
We'll start with the second reading of the board policy, policy 610, and I'm asking the board to accept the recommendation of the policy committee to approve the revised policy that would now include the extended field trip request form. It would include Part C, the rules for students and parents. It would include Part D, the rules of conduct for chaperones, and the agreement on that. And then Part E, which is a verification form to be completed by the sponsor teacher and the building principal, indicating that all steps of the policy have been fulfilled prior to the departure of the students. This is a much more comprehensive policy that obviously covers the expectations of the students, parents, sponsoring teacher, and the chaperones.
Not the final reading, right? Are you still
Yeah, so that was attached,
Right.
yes.
I just was going through some of my notes, so I have a few questions.
Yep, that's why we do this.
On the extended trips, it says, we have never really gotten a lot of information about the fifth grade or that presentation. Well, that, in my understanding here, it says all trips. Because it's incorporated into the educational course, does that count?
No, that would be like a grade level trip
Right.
would still, that's
Yep.
part of that curriculum, and so no, that wouldn't be.
All right.
And again, I outlined that if you
Perfect.
qualify, win an event that would go to the next level, the state tournament, the national competition, whatever the case would be.
Right. Then
Obviously,
that's-
this timelines
right.
wouldn't necessarily fit in with that.
Okay.
I think I don't want to what if on a lot of things, but if there's continued absences or continued trips, we might look at that for a qualifying event.
Right.
That's something that we maybe have to bring to the board and discuss, but this is more of the clubs and associations or groups that will take an extended trip, I guess, within the state or in the United States or obviously internationally as well.
And I figured so. My other one was, it's actually you guys had fixed everything that I had check marks, so that was good.
Good.
The approved student supervision portion is a 1-to-10 ratio, but it didn't clarify the fact that I think when we spoke before, we want a female to female and a male to male chaperones. So I didn't see
Gender, yeah.
I didn't see that like specifically pointed out in here.
If
So I wonder
it's
if we-
not, that's an oversight that we had discussed that. There was again in the
There was-
initial reading.
And trying to
Right.
copy exactly how this was in here.
Yep.
And honestly, I only did it this afternoon for a few hours, so I could have missed it too, but I just wanted to kind of make sure. I think it's on page, the extended trips, and then it's letter B on here.
It's actually on the
Right.
request form.
Okay,
On the request form, it's asking for a minimum of a 10-to-1 student to chaperone to student ratio is recommended. The district's requirements will precede the travel company's requirement unless the travel company requires a smaller ratio of students to chaperone. If the student group consists of students with varying gender identification, at least one male and one female chaperone will be required.
perfect. I actually didn't read those ones, I only just really went through the rules, so I
Yeah.
never saw that.
No, and then, again, part of the presentation that the advisor or teacher or, the sponsor we talked about kind of those, again, what ifs. What if you have 21 students? Does that mean that we need, or they would need 3 chaperones? And that's why you would come to the board, present the information, and share that I'm requesting this trip with 2 chaperones instead of the 3 that would be required. That there'll always be those kind of circumstances that need to be logically looked at and explained and discussed.
Otherwise, everything I had marked in my notes, you guys fixed, or
That was
inserted
a-
where I said insert, so.
And that was a 3-hour meeting, or close to it.
Close to it.
Yep.
Those were the only questions I had, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll get into it.
Any other questions, or I'll entertain a motion to adopt policy 610.
Motion to approve, the final reading of 610 policy for field trips.
Second?
Been moved by Ms. Erke, seconded by Ms. Tyre to approve the second reading of board policy 610 field trips. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those, excuse me, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. School board meeting change, Mr. Myhoff, please.
On April, our scheduled April regular board meeting is for Monday, April 21st. That is our spring break, Easter break Monday. The offices would be closed that day. We can, in theory, hold the meeting on that day, but I'm asking for your approval to move that meeting to Tuesday, the 22nd. When the district or the district office is open and school is back in session.
Do you need a motion? Do we need a motion to do that?
Yeah, the original calendar is approved by the board, so if we're modifying it or altering it.
Motion to approve, moving a regular scheduled board meeting from Monday, April 21st to Tuesday, April 22nd.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Erke, seconded by Mr. Mueller to move our April meeting from April 21st to April 22nd. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried.
The third action then is the 26-27 school calendar. Again, our attempts have been to put the calendar out for a couple years in advance for some convenience for family planning and some school planning. So I'm asking for your approval on this 26-27 school year calendar. There's not much, again, as I've talked about in the past. Christmas and Labor Day are kind of the driving force, and again with the ultimate goal, if possible, to end in May rather than June, but that's kind of a weaker one. But there's no major obstacles on the 26-27 calendar, and so you've been provided with that, and I'm asking for your approval for that so we can have it posted.
Make a motion to accept the 2026-27 school calendar as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Tyre, seconded by Ms. Engel to accept the 26-27 school calendar as presented. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried.
And last in this category, or section of the agenda, is our music trip. Ms. Reeder presented to the board last month, along with a recap of the FFA trip, but she presented the music trip that would be scheduled, and I'm seeking or asking the board to approve that, and we'll share the results with Ms. Reeder tomorrow.
Make a motion to approve the music trip as presented by Ms. Reeder.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Engel, seconded by Ms. Tyre to approve the music trip as presented. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. The next item is the levy certification.
Congratulations, Mr. Chair, that you get to read the language and the motion on this, but again, based on our presentation by Carla at our Truth and Taxation meeting, I'm asking the board to approve the recommendation that was presented. And again, the process would be to read that certification for approval, and then Sue will take care of the paperwork that follows.
Okay. Whereas pursuant to the Minnesota statute, the School Board of NRHEG School District in Richland, Minnesota is authorized to make the following proposed tax levies for general purposes. General Fund, $1,031,061.92. Community Service, $132,768.17. Debt Service, $1,302,821.80, which is a total for a proposed school tax levy of $2,466,651.89. Now therefore be it resolved by the School Board of NRHEG School District, New Richland, Minnesota, that the levy to be levied in the 2024 to be collected in 2025 is set at $2,466,651.89. The clerk of the NRHEG School Board is authorized to certify the proposed levy to the County Auditor of Waseca County, Minnesota.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Mueller, seconded by Ms. Erke to approve the resolution as presented. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That brings us to the final item on our agenda, and that's adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Erke, seconded by Ms. Tyre to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you, everyone.